Ni mtume nani?
Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana.
Ni mtume nani?
Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana. Nitakwenda kutangaza neno lako wewe, mataifa yasikie yakufuate wewe. Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana.
Hello and welcome to this very special program and exclusively to be with Reverend Brother Samuel from Angola. Greetings, brother, and welcome to this studio.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, brother, and I'm happy to be in this room for the interview of today. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome. Since the whole world is under COVID-19 pandemic, when we have observed the social distancing, we are going to take off our nose mask so that our voice may be clear. Everybody will be able to get our voices.
Oh,
Brothers, since we were in high school, from the Sunday schools, we have been told that we are created in the likeness and image of God. Above all, each one has his personal identity. Who are you, brother?
okay, thank you very much for the question. And starting by answering, I can say that I'm Brother Samuel Graciano Longenda. I come from a family of 7 children, and I am the firstborn, being 4 boys and 3 girls. That's what I can do. My parents both are alive, and I give thanks to God for that.
That's great, the firstborn.
Yes.
Like Jesus himself, the firstborn.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get your Marist vocation?
Thank you very much. First of all, for me to know the Marist brothers, first of all, I had belonged to a certain group in my parish called Vocation Group, whereby all those young men and women or girls who are ready to get into religious life belong to at that particular time. And it was in one of the days when one of the Marist brothers visited my parish, and from then he met with all the vocational groups that were there in the parish. And then after that gathering, we listened to him, and he tried to explain who are the Marist brothers, and everybody was so happy to hear from my Marist brother, and I'm one of them. And from that day is when I get, for the first time, to be in contact with the Marist brother. Yes.
That's great. So far, what is your missionary experience in Marist life? Since you're from the Portuguese speaker, you went to Malawi, you went to Mozambique, you currently are in Kenya. How was your experience missionary?
Thank you very much for this very precious question. And I would like to say that as my experience in this vocation journey as a Portuguese speaker, I would like to say that always in this life, surrendering our own wills is very important. Nothing is in this life. Everything requires sacrifice. Because being a Portuguese speaker, for the first time when I came into contact with English, it was not. It was so difficult to me, because it has been my first contact to be into this language. And I do remember from that time, I made a trip from Angola to Malawi. and we took the South African Airways, and as I got into the plane, the first thing that I experienced is whereby I was asked what type of food I wished to eat at that particular time. But being a Portuguese speaker, I couldn't even understand anything until the airmost had to give some signs in order for me to understand what she was asking for. And as well as I landed in Malawi, all my colleagues that I met there at the post lands were from different countries whereby English is the official language. And my experience as a Portuguese speaker, it was somehow difficult because I had to be born again by starting learning a new language. That was my experience, and through the efforts and with the help of my fellow colleagues, I managed to learn and to grasp the language. But what motivated more in this experience was really the diversity that I met, because it was my first time to encounter people from other African countries who speak English. And it was so wonderful at that particular time, and I don't take it for granted. Yeah. And after some months there in Malawi, when I wrote my application letter to the novitiate. In the following year, I had to go to the novitiate. Although the novitiate there in Mozambique, we use both languages, in fact. That's the Portuguese and the English. But the Portuguese has been applied more when we could go to the parish, because people speak Portuguese, but within the house, everything has been done in the English language. Even the formative program has been done in English language. But for those who come from English-speaking countries, they had also a chance to learn Portuguese.
Great. The one Scrum said that the strong language is a love. That love can connect people in which understand each other, because the love is a language. Actually, a very wonderful experience meeting again. What was your expectation you would get before to start your formation? Since you're living from Angola, you went to Malawi, when you got to Mozambique, how was your experience in your expectation?
In fact, first of all, my first expectation that I had in mind, apart from fear, nothing else, because when I moved, it was my first time to move from my country to another country. And since I did not have a language, it was so challenging to me, and it made me to be very afraid. But when I set off from home, I set in my mind that I'm following the footsteps of Champagne, who is the founder of the Marist brothers. If today there are people who have won the barriers of the society, who am I not to try in order to overpass these barriers of the society? But also being mindful of what I was following, which is to spread the good news in the footsteps of Father Champagne, who is the founder of Marist Brothers. I had to carry the open mind, because as I moved from home, I had to leave things from home I had to leave things that I have been living at home, so that I may encounter a new reality. in order not to make this reality a barrier or a difficult to me, that's why I had to be open to everybody that I met as I moved from home. And the expectations, on the other hand, that I was having in mind is like maybe to find people who are maybe who could understand me, who could understand my language. But when I entered into the ground, it was a very different reality, because at the beginning, the only thing that I had in mind is that the Portuguese was the best language. But for you to consider something as best, you have also to move or compare with the reality of other societies. Because if you don't move, you will remain in the same thinking. And through that movement that I made, it made my expectation to be contrary of what I have been thinking. And being so, I didn't find so many barriers on that one, because I had to open my mind and be ready for whatever I could meet, no matter what else that I could block my journey.
That's great. You had a shift from the old thinking to new reality. You embraced the new reality. That is a wonderful learning.
Thank you.
So, brother, where do you get strength to continue this journey?
You know, always for you to continue with a certain journey, it is because you have an aim to achieve. And that aim to be achieved, you cannot just do it on your own. Because for you to overpass your aim, the difficulties that you meet, you may ask as well the encouragement from others. But for it being a Marist vocation, and I'm following this life of being a Marist brother, the strength that I ask in my every day is the prayer. The prayer is the key of everything. With the prayer, we overpass all the difficulties that we meet. God always answers our prayers. God always answers our needs. And that's why you cannot join in this religious life without being a prayerful person or a prayerful religious. That's why my strength in my everyday life, my strength comes from the prayer. Because I trust and believe that God is always above everything, and He cannot abandon His children.
That unless you're spiritual, you can't make this life. That's great. You want to be remembered because this is what you mean. You remember what you have done. For example, when you talk about Nelson Mandela in South Africa, when you talk about him because he was able to stop apartheid. For you, how do you want to be remembered in this service?
In this journey as a religious, for me to be remembered, I would like to live my own life, because it said that it is through your actions whereby your other people will either you will change them or you will put them to waste their own life. But for me, the only thing that I would like to say is that for me to be remembered, I always pray that my daily life, let it be example for everybody to follow as well. Let it be the change of the society. Without that, then I will not be remembered anymore. And as well, this remembrance for me, I ask God that let this remembrance be in a positive way. Because sometimes I may do something And people will always remember, yeah, you see, he had been there doing that thing, we knew already all those things. But myself, I would like to be remembered in a positive way, so that those who have not yet discovered Jesus, who have not yet discovered their religious life, may be able to see the light which is beyond, and may not look at the religious life as a certain life that is the worst life that exists.
There is one preacher who said, you may be all the Bible to be read. That's the light track, because in the that people may see me and discover whom am I'm from. That's good. Can you share with us what shaped your life to be so far in Marist life?
You know, as now I am living this life as a mercy brother, what shaped my life is really the issue of diversity. And as a religious and a mercy brother, really I admired so much the way the mercy brothers live. Because according to the place where I'm coming from, who are really the mercy brothers? Mercy brothers, this life of brothers, for me, some people they have not yet understood. But as I'm moving from one place to another one, I came to realize that mercy brothers, they are really working in spreading to make known Jesus and loved in the society through their ministry. And also, what shaped in my mind is the way really the mercy brothers relate with the other religions. Because at first, I had a very negative, maybe thinking, who are the mercy brothers? I thought that the mercy brothers were just those people who were under the orders of the priests. But then later on, I came to be shaped that no, the mercy brothers have nothing to do with the life of priesthood. Mercy brothers, they live on their own, and through their life, they open the mind of many young people, and even those kids, and the society whereby the gospel is not yet understood. And from there is whereby I came to open my mind, because many people may not understand this life. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, very good experience this life. As you are approaching to the end of our conversation, can you tell something to young people who are out there in parishes, who would like to join the Mercy Brothers, or who feels can join the Mercy Brothers but they are afraid to approach Mercy Brothers?
The message that I would like to leave for those who are going to listen to us, and to the young people who are willing to join to this religious life, or either for Marist Brothers or any kind of religious life, is that don't be afraid, be focused. Whenever you choose a certain style of life, it's not easy, because the difficulties you will always find in the journey. But don't be discouraged, because with the help of the prayer, everything you will manage to overpass. And for those who are really having children who are willing to join to this life, don't block them. Let them make their own choice, so that they may realize their own dreams as well. Thank you very much.
Great. Do you have something else that you want to say I did not ask you?
As we are at the end of this conversation, I have nothing else to say, apart from saying thank you very much for this invitation to be part of this interview. and I don't take that for granted. I hope your doors will be opened whenever you are willing to invite us. I am open, and anytime I am available to you.
Thank you very much. For sure, we shall invite you back to our studio. I think you have shared your experience. People will like them, and we shall invite you to come back to our studio. Thank you very much for having honored my invitation. I'm glad to be with you.
Thank you very much.
To our viewers all over the earth in Africa, this was the Marist Vocation Divine Voice out of Africa. We do try our best to give you what you need to hear as young men, as consecrated people, or late. Welcome. See you next time.
Nimtume nani?
Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana.
Nimtume nani?
Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana. Nitakwenda kutangaza neno lako wewe, mataifa yasikie yakufuate wewe. Unitume mimi, nitume Bwana. Utakwenda kutangaza neno langu. Usiogope kwa ajili yao.
Nimtume nani?